are causing backlash problems for the president.
An iPhone warning from Apple.
You've seen it all the time. Now we'll discuss addiction to screens.
Plus, some hidden gems in San Francisco that are off the beaten tourist path. We'll have all that and more next on Urban Nights Update. Hi there, and thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art Urban Nights Update. Caden Spilsbury sitting in with me. I'm Shiloh Miller, and here's what's happening. The most destructive wildfires in California history is nowhere near done with its catastrophic rampage. Camp Fire in Northern California has decimated more than 6,400 homes and killed 29 people. Authorities say that Camp Fire is only 25% contained and 29,000 people have had to evacuate. Almost more than 13 million people are in danger in the Los Angeles area due to the Hill Fire and the Woolsey Fire that is currently responsible for 2 deaths, bringing the statewide death toll to 31, making it the deadliest wildfire season the state of California has ever seen.
President Trump is getting backlash after tweeting about the California fires. He said that the only reason for this fire getting out of hand is because of poor forest management. The president also threatened to cut federal aid for the victims affected in the fire. Many believe that the president is wrong to bring politics into this unfortunate disaster, and he's getting criticism from firefighters on the front line and residents who have had to evacuate.
A different type of backlash for Trump as a result of his trip to France. Due to the rain, the White House scrapped the president's visit to honor United States soldiers and Marines killed during World War I 100 years ago. This commemoration was taking place in France. The last-minute cancellation prompted a widespread criticism on social media, calling out the president by saying he dishonored U.S. servicewomen and men. At home, many veterans are learning a new way of life. For many, it's stepping into the halls of colleges. Amy Smith has the details on what this is like.
Military members serve their country from anywhere between 4 years till they retire after 20 years of service. But what's next once they leave? Is there a disconnect between the civilian life and military life? Nicole Lawler tells us what the transition was like for her.
Coming out of the Navy, I really did struggle because I went from having like a strict schedule and having to, report in by a certain time to being a stay-at-home mom. And it was like, now what do I do with my time? What do I do with my life?
According to the Department of Defense, about 1,300 military service members transition into civilian communities each day. People leave without having a real plan. One option for many veterans is to go back to school. 1 million veterans are currently enrolled in colleges. 85% of the student veterans are between the ages of 24 and 40. 62% are first-generation students, and 47% are married and have children. So going back to school as a veteran doesn't come without some hurdles. Travis Pettis gives us the details.
The biggest transition was dealing with students from a different age group. So when I got out, I was 26 years old and everyone else was 18 and 19. So even trying to find friends was a hard thing.
One thing you miss as a veteran is that brother and sisterhood you had in the service. Knowing that at the end of the day, the person next to you is going to have your back. You look for that same family feeling. A department like the School of Communications and Media Technologies here at the Academy of Art is where Manny Salas found himself.
Being in this department, I got something that I thought I was going to miss out of the military, which was the camaraderie. And when I entered, this university and ultimately this department, I had the ability to meet a good mentor and a couple good friends who are going to be lifelong friends.
As a Navy veteran who was transitioning to college just last year, I was struggling and looking for a place. Lucky for me, Academy of Art University opened up a center just for veterans. Crystal Beeman has the details.
It's a home away from home. And it is a place set aside where they come in, they do their homework, they relax. Some of them come from out of town. They also have graphic tables and they can do their work. They can look at TV, they can eat, have nobody looking over them but their own peers.
At least once a month, there are hosted events in the lounge. Members from different organizations like VA Medical, Veterans Affairs, and Student Resources come in to assist just the veterans. This place is really a way to help the transition process by having a place to connect with other veterans. So you don't want to miss some free coffee and good fellowship. In San Francisco, I'm Amy Smith with your Urban Nights Update.
Transitioning into a new life is difficult, but with these resources, the process can be less painful.
Another one bites the dust. President Trump has made another move in Washington, bringing Matthew Whitaker to replace Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who was forced to resign. Before Whitaker can even settle into his new job, the Democrats are quickly demanding he remove himself from the inquiry due to potential conflicts of interest. But Mr. Whitaker claims he is determined to lead a fair department and do the law justice, even though in the past he has been publicly critical of the Mueller investigation.
Democrats can now celebrate after seizing control of the House in the 2018 midterm election with the downfall of the Republican majority in both houses in Washington. Confrontation between President Trump and the newly Democratic House is poised to start this January. Democrats will be looking to use their leverage on the President Trump term and the plans he has in the future. With 218 seats needed for the majority, Democrats won with 219.
The standoff between Marriott and its hotel employees is finally coming to an end for two Bay Area cities. Union leaders from Unite Here Local 19 in San Jose announced workers have ratified an agreement with the hotel giant ending a 37-day-long labor dispute. A month after 200 Oakland workers hit the picket lines, they too came to a ratified agreement with Marriott, an agreement that union spokespeople call historic progress for both parties. While its neighboring cities of Oakland and San Jose put an end to their labor strikes, San Francisco Marriott workers still continue to picket day and night for fight for their cause that one job should be enough. Angel Mora went to find out more from the pickets themselves.
As many of us can see around the city, hotels ran by Marriott are on strike. I have two employees that can tell us on what's going on in the situation. First of all, here's Hector on his take on what's going on in the strike of San Francisco hotels.
Well, we don't know at this point because it's no negotiations going on, so nobody knows how long it's going to take. We don't get paid. It's like we had to support the union because they don't want to sign the new contract. They want us to pay the benefits, and a lot of people can afford it. Here in San Francisco, it's very expensive, so most of the workers have two jobs. So that's why we ask him, like, one job should be enough, like, got a good pay, better pay.
All right, well, that was Hector talking about his experience at the Marriott Hotel. And now here's Steve talking about the rally. He's the rally captain. He wants to talk about what happened during the protest and what's going on with the protest. And here it is.
Hi, my name's Steve Crespel. I'm a bartender at this hotel. We're striking right now. It all began when our contract ran out in August of this year, and negotiations were ongoing until just before the strike, when the Marriott told us that they would call us, and we went out on strike. So what we're asking for is better wages. The Marriott wants to cut our health care benefit, and the housekeeping wants greater security. So when they're on the job, there was a terrible incident that happened at the Marriott Marquis a few years ago. Personally, Arnie Sorensen, the CEO of Marriott, makes in 2014 made $3,700 an hour, and the average American housekeeper made $9.30-ish that year. Marriott owns 6,500 hotels, or operates 6,500 hotels, and they are the biggest chain in the world, and they can afford this. They're just being cheap, and we'll stop striking once they sign the contract.
Do you think the strikes will end soon? I'm Angel Mora, reporting live from San Francisco for your Urban Nights Update.
Over 2,500 San Franciscan workers are being affected by these negotiations, but leaders say they will continue to fight until a fair agreement is reached.
Apple finally has their answer to all the worried iPhone X purchases. After countless unhappy Apple customers complained about their new iPhone X not working, Apple looked into it and found the issue. There is a glitch in the phone that makes it a malfunction. Apple has now came out with a solution saying if your phone is affected and has not pre-existing conditions like a cracked screen, you may get a display replacement free of charge. The new iPhone XS has faced a lot of issues since it has been released. from issues with the Face ID to charging. I went out to report on the issue and how Apple can fix it. Grab your wallets because Apple just released some brand new products that you might want to get your hands on. Starting with a brand new Apple Watch Series 4 with a bigger and better watch face, plus a new and improved fitness section, to the brand new iPhone XS and XS Max, plus its new gold color. However, some customers claim to have issues with the charging section of the phone. I talked to Gonzo Rios, who claims to have this issue.
I was pretty excited for the new iPhone. I thought it was going to be a huge improvement on the iPhone X, but the battery life and the charging is just ridiculous, unacceptable by Apple, because I plug it in when there's 20% left and I wake up and it's like 63. They just got to figure it out, because this is just unacceptable, especially for a new phone that they said is going to be the phone of the future, and that just shouldn't happen.
We heard what our customer had to say about the new iPhone, but let's hear what our tech expert has to say.
Well, it seems to be a lot of software-related issues, which I think they need to spend some more time on their R&D, maybe do some extra beta, but they always push it as quickly as possible to get it out in the market. So, but if they want to eliminate some of those issues, they really need to put forth the effort to R&D it much better.
Apple still has yet to comment on this issue, but before you spend nearly $1,500 on this new iPhone, be sure it functions the way you want it to. Here at the Apple Store in San Francisco, I'm Shyla Miller with your Urban Nights update. Before you go out and spend just about $1,000 on an iPhone, be sure it functions the way you want it to.
Smartphones are the topic of today's roundtable. Not problems with them necessarily, but how we've come to rely on them and their constant presence in our lives. Let's join Wenyi Dong, who heads up today's roundtable discussion.
Nowadays, people seems like more addicted to our cell phone. And when you're out, like imagine looking around, you can see that people are looking at their screen. So we're more addicted to our cell phone than we imagine. So this week we have Nicholas Bofman, Amy Smith, and Noah Dobbin with us and discuss about this. What do you guys think about this thing?
Well, personally, I do agree that ever since social media and all that came around, more and more people are walking with their head in their phone. I mean, you see it, we live here in San Francisco, you see it all the time with people walking around, head in their phone, not looking up, bumping into people all the time. I mean,
it's so dangerous,
it's a
like
problem.
I think that's one of the biggest issues, is like a safety issue. I mean, you're literally walking across a street looking at your phone. Like, why don't you look up and see what's in front of you?
I mean, honestly, like, these people have gotten so good. I mean, just yesterday, honestly, this dude was walking with his head in his phone, didn't even look at me, but knew to walk around me. And I purposely sometimes will walk in the same direction I'm walking just to see if they're running into me, see if they're paying attention or not, just so I could be like, yo, pay attention. And he literally curved around me, didn't look at me once, and I was like, wow, this is kind of
even
where we're in.
Even with the phones nowadays, it comes to social media too. I mean, people are talking about everyday lives. I mean, I've seen tweets when I had a Twitter or I had an Instagram. I just had a taco. It's like, why do you
Who
need
cares
to,
about
no
that,
one cares
you know?
about that kind
I
of stuff.
think that instead of like speaking to your friend like face to face, we're more like addicted to using social media. Like even when you're out with your friends and you guys are having a dinner, like you guys are still like looking at your cell phone instead of like speaking directly to.
And that same thing goes for relationship wise. Like you're sitting across from someone that you are supposed to be in a relationship with, and they don't even look at you.
Nope.
They are so focused on their phone. You're like, hey, what about me? I'm like right here in front of you. Like, why can't you use that time on me?
It also causes a lot of trust issues too within the relationship because you see people posting these great things on Twitter, how great their relationship is, and that fabricates something in other people's relationships that are probably more genuine and more down to earth, that they want you to post them on Twitter, they want you to post them on your Instagram, and if you don't, they kind of get a bad rap for it because they're not posting their significant other on
Why
social
are we
medias.
doing this?
I don't know. Honestly, I just, like, I have our own relationship. Like, you guys talk about relationships. I have a relationship with my phone, and it's a little too close. I mean, like, I get up in the morning, and I promise you, the first thing I do is go on my phone and check this, check. It's an addiction, and it's like something that's part of my routine now. Something I'm like, I need this to wake up. Like, I'll literally wake up, like, say I have to be here at 7:40, right? I'll wake up at 6:40 and spend the first 20 minutes on my phone before I actually
Twitter,
get up.
checking your Instagram, checking your feeds.
Seems like I'm gonna check my phone and then I'm waking up and I'm ready to go. But like if I'm not checking my phone, like I cannot even wake up.
Right, it's part of our wake up process now, and why that is, I have no clue.
It's
kind of sad.
Maybe it's like a big thing. They're like Apple or whoever. They're doing that on purpose because
they definitely are. I mean, definitely these social medias nowadays are definitely trying to get people to tailor to their everyday lives. So they put more news, they put more things that every age group will want to look at, so they can get as many people in there as possible.
We're being brainwashed, guys. That's what I'll come to the
what
conclusion.
Yep, exactly.
It seems like our technology is getting more and more professional nowadays, and like we're addicted to our smartphone, and that's actually a social issue. And now back to you guys.
Thank you, Wenyi, for that roundtable discussion. As fall sports for Art U come to an end, we get ready for the start of the spring season for others. We go to Matt Watkins with your sports update.
Welcome, everybody. Today we'll be talking about everything Art U. We will visit the men's and women's basketball teams as they start their seasons. We will also have a recap of the women's golf team and see what's in store for the spring season. Lastly, we will summarize the men's and women's soccer teams and the seniors being acknowledged. Men's basketball is back. The inaugural tip-off began last Friday with the SF opener. Unfortunately, losing to SF State 78-41, they look to capture their first win of the season when they take on Cal State East Bay this Wednesday. Let's hear what the coach thinks of the upcoming season.
You know, I'm really excited about this year's team, especially ending it on such a great note last year with, you know, KB's game winner. We're deeper than I think we've ever been. We're bigger than we've ever been. And I think we're a little bit more skilled than we've ever been. So we got a lot of things going in our favor. It's just a matter of putting it all together and being consistent.
A brand new coach, Mitch Lowe, is building a championship golf team featuring 2 second-place finishes and a win. With help from number 11 in the nation, sophomore Anahi Servin, she has brought her team to number 14 in the national ranking. They look to build off these solid performances for the spring. The women's basketball team has officially begun their regular season. The first game of the season was against Concordia last Friday. Junior Brianna Cates started the season off with a bang, capturing 21 points, 5 rebounds, and a game-high 6 free throws among the teams. Unfortunately, this effort was not enough to come out on top. They fell short to Concordia 92-62. They will look to build upon their efforts against a solid Chico State team Saturday. Heading over to men's soccer, finishing their season 2, 14-2. It was not what they were hoping for. Although, as they wrap up their season 4, seniors were honored with awards for their commitment and excellence devoted to the program. Connor Henricks, Kevin Mendez, David Sigurdarsson, and Christian Sprague were the ones mentioned in the ceremony. They look to build the next season with the loss of the 4 seniors and are excited to get back at it. Lastly, we head over to the women's soccer as they finish their season with a program high 8 wins. This is encouraging finish for them as they have improved an impressive 7 wins over the last 2 years, 1-16 record. Adding the cherry on top, junior Anissa Wilson was named to the All-Pac West team.
Came out to play as hard as they could, and one of the nice things about having as many new players as we did is they don't know that tradition of not necessarily being a successful program at that point. And then couple that with 6 seniors who have been through a lot where they haven't had a lot of winning ways and they really, really want to end on a high note. And I think you see them setting the tone for how much they want it, and that lets the freshmen know.
That's all we have for everything in Art U Sports. See you back next time.
Thank you, Matt, for the Urban Knights Sports. Now that the fall is all wrapped up, our own Taylor Martin spoke with the head baseball coach of the Urban Knights to see how they prepared and what to look forward to.
Thank you and welcome. I am Taylor Martin, and here with me today is the head baseball coach of the Urban Knights, Dan McDermott. Welcome, Dan, and thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it.
So, fall just wrapped up. Baseball is going. How was fall for you and the team?
Fall's going to end tomorrow, and we've had the fires and the smoke and the air quality have really been affecting the last couple days. So we had to cancel on Saturday. We're going to probably cancel tonight too, just safety reasons. So we will not be having our World Series for the first time in 5 years, which is something the players always look forward to. It really is the time where they can compete as much as we can within the rules of the fall and show what they have. So it's going to leave the fall in a little different way than it has before, and there'll be a lot more questions that we need to answer in January.
Yeah. So now that Dixie State and both CalBap have left to go to a higher division, how is that going to affect this upcoming spring?
Well, losing those two teams from our league definitely hurts the league. They were the most prestigious teams, along with Azusa Pacific, and they were the teams that we always would quote when we were recruiting. We're in the league with CalBap Dixie. I think it will hurt the league. It'll hurt the consistent level of competition. As far as ourselves, we're going upward. We have been for the last couple of years. We'd go upward regardless of whether CalBap or Dixie was in the league. I think playing it makes us better.
Yeah, competition's always good.
Right.
So now that you got a lot of seniors left last year, how did that affect the recruiting process, and who are you looking forward to make a big stand to bring in these new players and show them what to expect?
We lost some pretty good pitchers. Okay, Chris Petrosi, Chris Rost, Alex Fernandez, those three big time pitchers that we lost. We also lost a great shortstop. You know him yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's been a hard. We can't replace him. We just have a guy that succeeds him. And we have a really good two guys, Fabian Barcena and Justin Summers, are both really good incoming juniors, and they'll be different than you, but they'll be fine.
Good. And lastly, what who are you looking forward to watch and put the team on the back a little bit?
I'm really interested to see how Zach May does. Taj Dawson, those are two players that have tremendous talent, and I know they weren't thrilled with their years last year, but I felt they made great progress, and really looking forward to see how they do. The last one is a guy named Thomas Delgadillo. He's an incoming outfielder, great player. I want to see how he does.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
All right.
Good catching up. Thank you, guys, and back to you.
Thank you, Taylor. Some sad news to report. Marvel Comics creator and legend Stan Lee passed away Monday morning at the age of 95. Lee not only created the amazing superheroes, characters like Spider-Man, Wolverine, Iron Man, and many others, but he also cameoed in almost every Marvel film since the early 2000s. His cause of death has not been released yet, but we will never forget the impact he has made on the entertainment industry. Now let's check in on entertainment with Tara Cooley, who has the latest on the upcoming big screen action.
Thank you, guys. Let's take a look at what's coming up this holiday season. On November 16th, we will be able to journey back into the wizard world because Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald will be hitting theaters.
My brothers, my sisters, the clock is ticking faster. My dream, we who live for truth, for love. The moment has come to take our rightful place in the world where we wizards were free. Join me or die.
Also on November 16th, the movie Widows will be released. With a cast full of Academy Award winners and strong female leads, this film is a must-see.
You have no idea, do you? Or did you choose not to know? Your husband stole $2 million from me. This is about my life. This is about my life. And because it's about my life, and that becomes about yours.
Looks like November will be a crowded month at the theater. Let's move along to one of my favorite actors, Steve Carell. We all know and love him from his infamous character Michael Scott on The Office. But in his new movie, Welcome to Marwen, set to release this December, we see him take on a more serious role.
Hey, looking good.
What is all of this?
The world-famous Marwen, Mark's art installation.
So that's the guy.
Yeah, it's right up there.
Some Nazi thugs jumped him. It's a miracle he survived.
I was a hell of a good artist, and now I can barely write my name. So my dolls have to tell a story.
I'll be sure to grab my tissues before seeing that movie. That's all the time we have. I'm Tara Cooley. Back to you.
Thank you, Tara. We will be on the lookout for those new movies. San Francisco is known for attracting tourists, but there are some places visitors might not know about. Tara is back with the details.
When you ask people where they go to when they visit San Francisco, they usually say something like this.
When I go to the city, or when I come to the city, I like to go to Fisherman's Wharf, Union Square, San Francisco Giants. Great city. Lots of fun.
But did you know there are hidden gems tucked away in this beautiful city? Have you ever heard of Balmy Alley or the Fortune Cookie Factory?
No, I haven't.
For people who love and appreciate art and the free spirits who create it, Balmy Alley is the place for you. Located in the Mission District off 24th Street. According to their website, Balmy Alley was created in the mid-'80s. This alleyway allowed artists to express themselves about human rights and political abuses. The murals are updated and current with today's issues. Chinatown is a tourist attraction, but did you know hidden in the alleyways there's a fortune cookie factory? The Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory is located off Ross Alley in Chinatown. It opened up in 1962, allowing visitors to see up close how fortune cookies are made. You can even write your own fortune and have a baker put it in your cookie for you. So next time you're in the Bay Area, make sure to stop by. In San Francisco, I'm Tara Cooley with your Urban Nights Update.
The Fortune Cookie Factory is definitely a place that I'm definitely going to visit. But that just about wraps it up for this edition of Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update.
For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Caden Spilsbury.
And I'm Shyla Miller. See you back next time.